Hello and welcome to the Adventure Games podcast. My name is Shorta Dunbar and I hope everyone is well. Thank you for joining me. If this is your first time watching one of these videos, we do trailers of adventure games. There's some video interviews with the likes of Robert Holmes, Roberta Williams, and several others. And we also have a podcast which you can listen to on anywhere you listen to podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, where we have more interviews with developers such as Charles Cecil, Tony Warner, Dave Gilbert, Francisco Gonzalez, Tom Hardwich, and many, many more. We do it for the last 6 years. And we have reviews about once a month with the team from the Adventure Games podcast, where we discuss and review the latest adventure and narrative games that we have been playing. So now in this video, it's a little bit different because I'm going to talk about three games. I'm going to show trailers of these three games. And now these three games are not what you'd call adventure games. They're certainly not traditional adventure games. So please don't at me. So if you're wondering, why am I going to discuss these? Well, they have one thing in common, and that is all three games have a focus on narrative, and all three have pretty unique setting. Also, two of these games are made and developed by studios who have made adventure games in the past and will continue, in one case at least, to make, excuse me, adventure and narrative games in the future coming up this year as well. So I thought I'd include these games, but not with the trailers for adventure games because they're not, but they do have a focus on narratives. So yes, so let's get to the first trailer. And this is an interesting one. As settings go, it's one of the most interesting settings that I have seen in quite a while. So please enjoy this trailer for The Inquisitor.
Welcome to Königstein, Master Inquisitor.
Do you really believe there's a vampire hiding in town?
Who found the body?
A farmhand working the stables.
There's only one way to find out.
You lie! Tell me what really happened!
So, the bloodsuckers are still around, are they? We vanquished in my name. Amen.
So that is The Inquisitor. And as I said, as settings go, this is one of the most interesting. In this game, Jesus did not die on the cross, but managed to escape. And then he went on a bloody, murderous rampage on all the non-believers. Now, 1500 years later, there is an army of inquisitors who brutally enforce the faith. And in this game, the Inquisitor, you play, as the title suggests, one of these inquisitors called Mortimer Matherton. And you have to go. There are rumors of a vampire in a town called Königstein. So you are sent to investigate. And at the same time, you are, you're sent to, you have to find out the truth. And there's some subplots as well. And you decide what you want to do. You can torture people if you wish in this game. Now, if you see the game, there is some combat there, but I have read some early reviews, and the good news is that early word is positive about this game, even though it might look a little bit rough around the edges. But early word is good, and what reviews have said is that this has more in common with Broken Sword than, for example, with The Witcher, even though there is some combat. But early reviews have said that you spend most of your time talking to people. There's a lot of talking to people, apparently, exploring. There are some puzzles, and then there are some combat, some of which is optional. But yeah, so it's, as I said, this might not be for everyone, but I think it's very interesting that you play as a torturer. Some choices you have to make. How far will you go in your quest to find out the truth? Will you actually torture people? Will you use combat? or will you be, well, shall we say, a nicer person? I'm very, very interested in this. One other thing is you also go into what's called the Unworld, and there's this monster there that's chasing you, apparently, and you have to go into the light and use some stealth mechanics as well. But this game looks very interesting, and it is going to be available on PC, at least on Steam, on the 8th of February. And I think it's coming to PS5 and Xbox as well. So you can check it out. I'll include links to the official site in the description. So that is the Inquisitor. And hopefully we might be reviewing it on the podcast very, very soon. So now, here is a look at the second trailer. And this comes from, you might know the company, Don't Nod. And they are about to release Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden. So please enjoy.
We are Banishers. We end suffering for those who live. We bring closure to those who don't.
There is no love, only betrayal.
The wall between the living and the dead is under threat. You, it seems, have a part to play.
Our fate are in the hands of others now.
This nightmare chose New Eden for a reason.
I'll do whatever I can to help.
If help we can, the nightmare will end, and Red and I shall do the ending. So I may have my resurrection, we'll kill people for our own ends.
We face a choice. If you're to come back, this is when it starts. Do we kill?
Or do we part forever?
We must decide now.
Help me!
Life to the living,
Look out!
death to the dead.
Time and God have not yet healed. There is no God here. The Banisher sides with the living.
You're neither. Not Banisher. Not living.
Will you come to her aid?
Come no closer!
Now, when all is lost. If you do, I'll be waiting.
So Banishers, Ghost of New Eden is the next game from Don't Nod. Don't Nod, of course, as I'm sure people are aware, are most famous for Life is Strange and Life is Strange 2, and they also made Tell Me Why. And they also made Jusson, which got some fantastic reviews as well. And now comes Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden, which will be released on 13th of February. And as you can see, it is not an adventure game. It's story-driven action RPG, but again, thought I would include it because this looks like a pretty good game that adventure game fans might be interested in. Don't Not have a very good track record, as I just mentioned. And this game looks fantastic. It looks similar in some ways to their previous games, that it is story-driven, and you do have to make morally ambiguous choices between the two characters, Red and Antia. However, Antia has died, and so you have to then choose: do you continue to will you uphold your oath and ascend her soul, or will you sacrifice the living in the hope of bringing her back? And your decisions will shape the fate of New Eden's inhabitants, may they be living or dead, and determine the end of your journey. So this, again, very similar to Life is Strange in that case. So what decisions do you make? Do you save maybe one person, or save a whole group, a whole society of people? And that person, core person that you love, you decide. And as I said, this game will be coming out on 13th of February, day before Valentine's Day. Perfect game to play on Valentine's Day. Perfect love story, if you ask me. But, and again, it's not really an adventure game, but we might be discussing it on the podcast. And I'm certainly looking forward to seeing if this game lives up to its potential but not long now. So again, it's coming out on PC, on Steam, PS5, Xbox, and as you've probably saw at the end of the trailer, Focused and publishers also have a collector's edition if you want that as well. And now here is the final trailer of this video. And here is a trailer for an upcoming game called The Thaumaturge. Please enjoy.
In Warsaw, it doesn't take much to find yourself in a predicament. It feels familiar, as I keep discovering how much has changed during my absence. I'm a Thaumaturge, and staring into the depths of the human soul is my craft. As classy as that sounds, there are times where I have to get my hands dirty.
Hey, Suski!
The gift of thaumaturgy runs deep in my family. I have it just like my beloved father had it before me. Whether there's truly a gift or an immeasurable curse is up for debate. Did father have his grimoire on him at the time of his death?
But why would anyone want Papa's grimoire? What do you intend to do?
Your power is terrifying. Do you know that?
Your absence from Warsaw has happily come to an end, I hope.
The boundary that separates good from evil is hazy and elusive.
I didn't catch your name.
Some people believe their evil deeds are the work of inner demons. Yet I know these demons don't come to those with clear conscience. They bear a name, Salutars. And they always come uninvited. That giant bird must enjoy it. I can tame these beings and bend them to my will. Of course, it's not easy, as the border between thaumaturgy and insanity can be ambiguous. How about a little game? You may think that in this world our actions are ours alone, but I tend to see it rather differently.
Brave enough to cross even that final boundary?
My name is Viktor Szulski, and you will soon learn what the Thaumaturge is really capable of.
So the Thaumaturge is coming on 20th of February 2024. And as you can see, well, I think that trailer did a great job of explaining what the game is about the story, about the gameplay. So there is turn-based combat, which is, again, why I'm not including the adventure game. And I'm not usually, a fan of turn-based combat games, because usually I'm not very good at them or patient enough for them. But this game looks very, very interesting. It's set in culturally diverse alternate history, early 20th century Warsaw, and you play this Thaumaturge who can look into the dark pits of souls of people, and you have to tame the Salutars, who are esoteric beings that only Thaumaturges can truly perceive and use for their needs. So as well as the combat, there appears to be investigation, exploration, I think some puzzle solving as well, some interaction with characters. So certainly a lot of adventure game elements as well as some stats and leveling up as well. But I've seen some videos. It looks really, really good. The voice acting seems good. It is developed by Fool's Theory and published by 11-Bit Studios. Now, 11-Bit Studios made Frostpunk. They are currently developing Frostpunk 2. And they published two adventure games, South of the Circle and The Invincible. Last year, I played Out of the Circle, really enjoyed it. Haven't played Invincible yet, but it has got some very good reviews, and look forward to playing it as soon as I can. And now the Thaumaturge also looks absolutely fantastic, and that is coming out, as I said, on the 20th of February. It's coming out on Steam, GOG, and Epic. Don't know yet if it's coming out on consoles, but you can go to their official website and you can subscribe to their newsletter, rather, as well. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the trailers of these three games. I hope these games might interest you. Does any of these three games interest you the most? Maybe not. Do any other narrative-driven games? Are there any other narrative interest games that interest you as well? Please let me know, and I'll be happy to take a look, and I'll be happy to show a trailer and discuss it as well. Next week there will be another video with adventure games, with more narrative-driven games and puzzle games, more typical games that we talk about on the podcast as well. But yeah, maybe you can check these three games out wishlist on Steam or GOG or wherever they're coming out on console as well, and you might find them interesting. So as I said, you can also check us out on the podcast on any platform that you listen to podcasts. And it'd be great if you gave this video a like, if you shared, if you subscribe to this channel. We'll be uploading more videos over the year as well. So I'm going to stop talking now. Take care, everyone. Until next time, I hope everyone is doing well, and we will chat very soon. Thank you. Take care. And remember, keep on questing.